Fear and pandemonium outside Kabul airport as thousands of desperate Afghans try to leave.
I think it's a sorrow, it's a sadness that all Afghans around the world feel it.
Wild and angry Taliban fighters firing repeated shots over people's heads.
It feels that 20 years is an illusion. It was an illusion. The freedom, the education, all the things that women were able to do, it's an illusion. It's not existed anymore. And I doubt everything.
Sarah grew up in Afghanistan under the rule of the Taliban.
So when Taliban came, I think I was 7 or 8.
It was a different time, especially for women.
The women are not allowed to go outside of the house without a man accompany them.
Women couldn't drive, work, or gain an education.
During Taliban, we burn everything. We burn the pictures, we burn the books.
But burning books only fueled a fire within Sarah.
I had a very strong desire to go to school. I don't know how I found a lady that she teach women's girls at her house.
Sarah secretly gained an education in her underground class until a morning that changed the world as we knew it. Less than a month later, the United States invaded Afghanistan. Sarah and Javad said the United States invasion helped open classrooms to all, and where him and Sarah then met, fittingly, was at school.
He saw me and he fell in love with me.
But love at first sight wasn't a luxury Sarah and Javad could easily afford.
It is not acceptable for a young boy and a young girl to have a relationship, not even as a friend. Most of the marriages are arranged. When I met her and I knew she's the one, I just went all in. And I told my parents, I'll pay the cost. And then we finally got married.
So, at least we were not killed to be in love with each other.
But in finding work to support his new family, Javad did risk his life day after day. He became an interpreter for the U.S. forces, providing translation for American troops.
Working with them was an honor for me, especially the mission they had to get rid of the terrorists over there.
But it came at a high cost, as Afghan interpreters had one of the biggest targets on their back as they provided assistance to the U.S. in their fight against the Taliban. That's why Javad constantly tried to hide his identity.
And I even had to change my accent and my voice to talk to these people. But eventually, after doing it for 3 years, they're gonna find out who you are. I was lucky that I didn't get killed over there, but I couldn't live a life just escaping these people all the time. Because what I did, I believed in it.
But eventually, the risks became too great.
Because my life were on the line, and thanks to the United States government, they issued me that special immigrant visa.
Special immigration visas are for those who supported the United States mission, but with the recent Taliban takeover, there's another type of visa available.
There's a humanitarian parolees. So those were a large number of folks who in those last days after the fall of Kabul were coming out of country. Those are folks that are really asylum seekers and refugees.
No matter the visa, when these refugees do arrive, there's a number of organizations in the Sacramento area set up to provide assistance during a turbulent time.
They still have to cope and deal with the insecurity that their family feels back home.
One of the organizations is the Council of American Islamic Relations, or CARE.
We're a nonprofit organization that really caters to needs that are on the ground.
He said while many recently arrived refugees are in for a culture shock and a huge adjustment, that doesn't mean they should be thought of any less.
These are very resilient people that have faced a lot of hardship, and they're coming here essentially for opportunity, right? That they cannot seek back home due to global systemic issues that we're facing today.
Javad and Sarah's story stands as an example of their hard work and dedication and how much can change in the 7 years since their arrival.
Yes, we came here with $800. I applied for a lot of the jobs.
To pay the bills, Javad initially worked in the labor force, but it wasn't enough for them. They also wanted to give back to their community.
He decided to go to Air Force, and that was the time that I just feel calm down. I said, okay, now you're doing something beside the money that you're earning for us to survive.
Finally here, I feel that sense of belonging, that sense of freedom that people talking about. It's not just like do whatever you want to do. It's like having the opportunity to seek for your dream. That is, for me, the true meaning of freedom.
And while their life here has transformed in the last 7 years since their arrival, there's one thing that remains the same: their mutual love of learning.
She always ordering books. I come home and there's these packages in my porch, and I pick it up. It's like, what did you order? Why is it so heavy? And then it's like, oh, it's just books. And she just read through books like maybe 1 or 2 a week.
That's why they've created a little library to promote the importance of education and share it with their neighbors, something that's a dream come true for Sarah. As a young woman, she wasn't allowed to have an education.
I was imagining that. And now I have like one bookshelf in that living room and one bookshelf here, in my bedroom, everywhere. And I have the free library bookshelf that there too. And I noticed, oh, this is my childhood dream. Now I'm sharing my dream with other people.